Let's see what Sandy feels like. Again, it is absolutely ridiculous to me to think that Sandalphon was the 6th character we got to master. We got 5 characters to master in the first year of Grand Blue, and 32 in the next 8 months. Hamilton wrote, the other 51, or whatever the hell it is. I wonder if I'm gonna feel that complaint that a lot of people have with Sandy, where you kind of just end up spending your entire life in either base or fire. And it feels like the other elements were not made good enough to justify you actually using them, right? Which makes the character feel a lot less fun to people. I am curious about that. Because this is something that I feel like I always push back on when people talk about it. Like, I'm like, I don't know, I feel like the elements are, you know, like, you end up using them enough, in my mind, for it to feel like a bag of tricks, right? But obviously, he's not hopping between, even now. Even my current take on Sandy's elements, basically, before we get started, is that I feel currently like it feels fun. It feels like it's a little bag of tricks that you can pull out and have, like, weird little counterplay things that pop up based on certain matchups. Certainly you're not, but if you were wanting Sandalphon to be hopping between the elements on every interaction, then I can, or something similar to that, then I can see why you're disappointed. For me, I like it. For me, I like knowing that I have, like, you know, a fireball that cannot be rolled in my back pocket if I have a matchup where that's very important or something like that. Or, you know, having, like, a really fast zoning fireball and an air dash in my pocket at great risk, you know, for matchups where that's important. Or, like, against characters who don't have a fireball, I have this fucking thing which just wins neutral for me. I like having this bag of tricks I can pull out, but I don't know if that's actually going to feel reasonable. Like, even, you know, even if I'm fighting Ladiva, for example, a character without a fireball, or UL or something, am I going to find myself not using water? And then it's like, well, it still feels like fire is just better here? So I'm just constantly either in fire or in base and I'm sad about it? Maybe, right? Maybe. But before we get into all that, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's talk about Sandy. Let's talk about his normals. Let's reacquaint ourselves with his kit, and then we'll actually get to playing him. Probably after Meg, to be fair. Let's talk about his normals, which are pretty damn good, right? White Woman Farrell, quite nice. 4 active frames is also, he trades a recovery frame for an active frame, so we fuck with that heavy. If you look at the hitbox on this, right, it does have the White Woman Farrell problem, where certainly a lot, like it has 2 different layers of hitbox extension right there that are going to whiff beneath your average crouching hitbox, right? So it is very easy for this thing to whiff over crouchers at range. So that's kind of the weakness of this Farrell. That is kind of the White Woman Farrell in general, right? Is it has very good range, tends to have good active frames, things like this. But they are, of all Farrells in the game, kind of the most prone to the universal Farrell problem of, like, if you space them out too poorly or too far, they're gonna whiff on crouchers. Sandy is very much just that kind of Farrell. Where'd the White Woman Farrell thing starts? There's a whole lot of, like, White Woman normals, you know, like the privileged White Woman slides that, like, Karin has and shit, like, the, like, you know. But, White Woman Farrell, I first heard referred to with Zeta, but I'm sure it comes from a previous fighting game even. His 2L is pretty standard, right? Pretty standard run-of-the-mill. It hits low, which is very nice. As you can see, if I move a little further back and hide the frame meter here, it's got a decent hitbox to it, right? It's nothing ridiculous, it's nothing insane. It's a pretty good standard, like, poking 2L that also hits low, right? Nothing to be upset about there. A good 2L in the grand scheme of things. Not amazing, but good. His far M is probably one of the less impressive buttons in his kit. It's decently large. This does reach, I believe, quite comfortably post-throw tech. Not that comfortably, right? Not that comfortably. It certainly does, right? But it kind of barely reaches, yeah. It's at 9 frames at that range, too. So, you know, it's got good range. But yeah, 8 frames at a lot of ranges, and at tipper, looks like it's 9, which I didn't even know. And, you know, normal active frames, normal recovery frames, right? His far M is serviceable, right? It works. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is probably the most average move in his kit, if I had to guess. His 2M is quite nice, right? Doesn't quite hit post-throw tech, right? But almost does. 7 frames, not a lot of recovery, right? 4 active frames, decent. We fuck with this 2M. Far H is a pretty nice button on Sandy, sir. Right? Pretty big. Obviously going to be hitting with some room to spare post-throw tech right there. This is kind of like where I use, like, seeing, like, this spacing is kind of what I use as a default, right? You can see it's got a little bit of extra in that red right there. This kind of goes to show you how ridiculous Catalina's buttons are, right? I'm pretty sure this far H is smaller than Catalina's far M by a little bit, too. But still, good range on it. 10 startup frames is a little bit on the slower end of average, right? But 5 active frames, right? Not a ton of recovery. It trades out. Basically, normal for a like could be 24. He trades out. He adds 2 extra active frames and loses 2 recovery frames right there, right? So, like, overall, Sandy's buttons are pretty good so far, right? Far L, pretty good. Far M, 2L, pretty good. 2M, pretty good. Far H, pretty good. None of them are amazing, insane buttons, but they're all solid, right? He has a very solid kit of buttons. His 2U is weird, right? This always felt to me like it should go further than it does. But it's got 5 active frames, so that's cool, I guess. That's actually like a little bit about average, probably. A lot of 2Us have a lot of active frames. But you know, it's a low. It starts up in 8 frames from close range and 9 from kind of far away, right? So again, this is a fine 2U. He can convert off this decently well, just like, you know, being Mr. Fawn. But I believe he can get... Can he not get this off that? I guess not. I guess it needs to be launched already, huh? I could have sworn he got... oh, he gets that. Yeah. Right. If you're close enough. Yeah. But it's again, it's a good button. A lot of Sandy's buttons are good, right? I will say, I think does his far H have a little bit of a... Yeah, no. Not a lot of, like, insane disjoints on these either, right? The far M's got a little bit of one, right? His buttons are all pretty serviceable, honestly. Low hitting 6XM, which is, you know, that's good. That's what you want. You don't, they're better than the overhead ones for controlling neutral, especially for a mid-range character like this. Pretty solid 6XL as well, right? I think it just about, like, doesn't hit from round start. Yeah, if I just, like, immediately dash and do it. It's a solid 6XL. Regular sort of Grand Jita style 6XH, right? You can space it to make it safe, like that. And you get, you know, a reward whether you get a counter hit or not. Though you get, obviously, a better crumple on counter hits. You're more plus, being plus 15 right there. So again, right? Like, all of Sandalphon's buttons are, besides his far M, they're, like, pretty good. His far M is fine. There's nothing exceptional here, to my understanding, but they're all pretty good. Consistent, pretty good normals at every, like, across the board, we'll take that, right? As far as his close normals, 5 frame close L, obviously we fuck with that heavy. 6 frame -1 close M, even on block is the premium frame data there, but you know, we'll take it. And 9 frame close H -4. Again, 8 frame -3 is generally the premium frame data there. So again, right, like another example of Sandalphon's normals being good. They're not great, they're not amazing, but they're good. They're not bad, and they're not like certainly outside of his far M, which is a little So like overall, pretty solid kit of buttons. His jumping normals are where things get a little interesting. JL is your pretty classic, just Fox neutral air, sex kick, active all the way down type thing. JM is a relatively reliable cross-up. You see that's got a big ol' horizontal and other side hitbox to it, right? Very nice, reliable cross-up jump button from Sandy right there. JH is a nice, deep jump-in button. And of course, Sandy JU is the creator of bad habits everywhere. This is his sort of anti-anti-air. It's a worse version of Bub's JU for all intents and purposes. But Bub's JU is kind of a fucking ridiculous move. So it being a worse version of that is completely and utterly fine, right? You have to be careful with how you use it, right? Because again, if you just like do this, for example, you're -18 and you're going straight to hell. But it is pretty solid. He can't get a combo off it on non-counter hits unless he hits very deep, but like on counter hits, he can even just like, you know, do shit like that, and he still gets a conversion. So, very, very nice for Mr. Sandalphon right here. Hello, Harihara. How you doing? Let's see. Is that all of his buttons? Am I missing something? His 5U is the elements, right? Fire, earth, wind, water. They primarily change his fireball, and they give him a follow-up to this Lariat move. They also all make him essentially have 10% fewer health or less health. 10% less health for these 3 elements. Nope, sorry. 10% less for fire, water, and earth, and 20% less for wind, which translates to basically taking 11.1111, repeating, of course, more damage in fire, water, or earth, and taking 25% more damage in wind. 2H, I guess? Oh yeah, his 2H is pretty solid, right? It's, again, he's not Siegfrieding or anything like that. It reaches pretty high up. It's got a decent cross-up. That's actually pretty good. It doesn't reach very far in front of him, I guess, but pretty good 2H, right? Again, pretty good. All of Sandalphon's buttons are pretty good. There's like, except for maybe like this one, which is arguable, like probably it's a bit more polarizing. It could be really good or kind of ass, depending on how you're using it. But like, he doesn't have any buttons that make you like stand up out of your fucking chair and go, why the hell can he do that? But all of his buttons are not going to let you down necessarily. But yeah, on top of the damage increase, they all update his fireball and they update his Lariat, and wind makes him really fast in both walk speed and dash speed and gives him an air dash as well. Base Dolphon here, light Dolphon, his fireball is a pretty standard fireball, right? Light tosses it out quick like that. Medium is slower and 2 hits. EX is a grounded combo extender for him in the corner, so you can do things like that. You can also convert off of it. Off of a crouching conversion. If he gets it in the mid-screen, right? He gets to be +8, and he can do, I think, well, actually, does his 2M, or 2M connect? Yeah, his 2M connects from there. I think it doesn't connect if they're standing, if I remember correctly. Yeah. They don't get pushed back quite as far crouching, right? So you can convert from it in the mid-screen like that too, which is nice. The U version is the same everywhere. It is a gun. It is just incredibly fast, right? This is a fast-ass U fireball that mostly is used for long-range conversions in some cases, but also just a quick check, hard knockdown, you know, run up, get your turn from there. In fire, his fireball is relatively similar, though notably, I believe, compared to lights, it will now knock down on every hit, right? You notice none of these will knock down except for the U. If I go to fire, even on regular hits, the fireball knocks down. So, you know, in some ways, that's better for zoning, right? The medium fireball is similar. It also does a little bit more damage, if I remember correctly. Yeah, right, 800 versus 1,000, and similarly so for the medium and heavy. And then the heavy version also launches them, and these allow Sandy to get much better conversions meterless in the mid-screen. I think it's like, that is what he gets in fire. The water fireball is completely different than the other two we've talked about so far. The light version is just this kind of wall that stands in place and I think eats 2 fireballs, like 2 hits of a fireball. The medium is this kind of slow-moving guy who is an EX fireball's worth of clash level. It'll clash with other EX fireballs, but he has to spend a lot of time kind of setting it up like that, right? And the heavy is just an improved version of this where it's a lot faster for him to set up and then throw out and follow after. It also knocks down on hits like this. This is mostly a neutral control fireball, right? Though notably if Sandalphon blocks anything even, this will go away, right? You go into water, you do this, you throw that, and then you can do this, and they get, yeah, guard crush unblockable into the water fireball. I think they got rid of it? No, they didn't. It's right there. So basically if you block, you will get murdered, and if you get thrown, you will get murdered. So this is, the combo before it will be penalized because you can't launch with this, because if that's the case, then the cooldown of using the U skill when the other guy's on cooldown means that you don't get your guy back in time. So your previous combo will do less damage, but it could be an interesting way for him to close out games. The Earth Fireball is essentially, the main things about it is it hits low, well, it hits low, it's not like literally a low, but it can't be rolled, and it's a multi-hit. So this is quite nice, for example, against Beatrix riding free. It's quite nice to break Vayne Shield, even on like non-EX versions. It's quite nice to break Vasaraga Soulforge, even on non-EX versions. It's also plus on block, right? If even slightly, maybe even all the time? Yeah, even all the time, right? The light fireball is plus on block, which is very nice for pressure. The medium fireball is a lot slower, but again, really plus on block, right? Very, very, very plus on block. And the EX, even more hits, plus on block all the goddamn time, right? Even better for combo conversions, things like this. Yeah, primarily this is a pressure fireball and a beating characters who lose to multi-hits or beating riding free fireball, in my experience. And finally, wind. Wind fireball is fast as fuck. It's similar to the light and fire ones, except again, fast as fuck. Just like the fire one, it knocks down even on regular hits, right? So decent for zoning. And very notably, again, because wind also makes him really fast, if you find a knockdown with this wind fireball, it is often, you know, Sandy's in a lot of the time. The EX wind fireball also wall bounces from real far away, if I recall. If we go a little further, I think it will. Yeah. The EX Fireball wall bounces from real far away. It carries you, man. It carries you. He also, in wind, gets an air dash. Which, you know, interesting. DP's a DP, right? He's got a 9-frame MDP too, which is nice. EXDP works well. UDP is 8 frames, gives him a safe jump, the whole 9 yards. This stance is interesting because the light version of this is just the biggest disjoint in the game that isn't like a fireball by a country mile. Look at this. I did not know about this when I first got into Master. I learned about this getting Siegfried to Master. This is just the biggest disjoint in the video game. You don't really get anything off of this light poke, I think, ever? But it's just kind of like a nice, like a larger than your largest button poke that he can use in neutral. I think even on counter hits, this is like a complete nothing burger. Maybe like on counter hits in the corner? Maybe? Nah, even counter hits in the corner, it's nothing. Even like point blank, yeah. You can get close L if you point blank counter hit, it looks like, yeah. But like this is not really gonna get you any kind of reward, maybe ever. But this is a very nice, very safe poke for him to have, right? Entirely disjointed. The medium one puts him into the stance, right? And he can do a couple of different follow-ups from it. You can judgment cut like this, ask you to show some grit. Which is a nice, you know, it's active for a long time. It can try to fuck people up for spot dodging it. And also it can be just a good chip set situation, things like this. The heavy follow-up out of it is a slash, which is primarily a combo extender because it's unsafe on block. This thing is -6 on block, right? So you're gonna die. Mostly a combo tool. And the U version is this little dash up into cinematic, right? Does a good chunk of damage, gives you a close H follow-up after. This is also even on block out of the stance here. But very notably, it is incredibly death on spot dodge, right? Like if I have Mr. Elzebub spot dodge me here, I am very much in danger. So this is kind of like, you can be a little tricky with it, but again, this is often a combo tool, though you can be tricky with it if you want to try and like chump check him. He can also, in the stance, teleport like this, which you can do pretty much as soon as he's in the stance. And it has 10 frames of invincibility on it. You can also do any of the follow-ups from that teleport. So it can both be a way to like delay your follow-ups, as well as just a good way to, if you get stuck in the stance with someone doing something at you, you can, like 10 invuln frames on command is quite good, right? Like there's no start. As soon as you hit that button, once you're in stance, you get 10 invuln frames. So it's actually quite a nasty way to try and avoid some stuff. Oh, you can also hold that, right? You can hold the U follow-up. So if someone, for example, tries to spot dodge, you know, right away, you can either catch them on the way in like that, or even potentially fully counter hit them and send them to hell. But you are playing with fire a little bit there. And the U version is that, which is actually unlike I believe this version, which is too active to be spot dodged. Yeah, the U version certainly can be. But this is more, again, just a quick, you know, tracks your opponents from almost full screen. Yeah, it's not quite full screen. But tracks from almost full screen. Does a good chunk of chip, right? Can punish your opponents for, like, hitting a button. Think of it like a CAG U-spike type situation, right? Does a good chunk of damage right there. It can also be a combo ender in certain cases, too. Where you end up with them very far away, and you just need, like, something to hit them at full screen real quick. Gives him, I believe, a safe jump afterwards, too. He is plus 52, yeah. So I think that's a super jump, safe jump. Yeah, oh, no, probably a regular jump, actually. Yeah, regular jump, safe jump. So that's nice. So that's, you know, it's quite useful. And then finally, he has this Lariat, which is quite the nice neutral skip for him. The light version is always safe on block. I think in the corner, it might be throw punishable. No, it's not. No. Always -4, always safe. The medium one is not always safe on block. The heavy version always wall bounces and is always punchable on block as well. Right, -6. But it's a little quicker, right? So there might be cases where like this doesn't frame trap and this does. Or even where, for example, this might be a true block string and you use this to frame trap instead. Very notably, obviously, all of these, if you have an element up, you can hit U when they block it and you get this little follow-up. On the light one, it doesn't really do anything. But on the medium and heavy one, it starts to shine a little bit more, right? Medium one is a plus on block guard crush, and the heavy one is a plus on block guard crush. It does a bit of chip to it as well. And even if you brave counter this, it's never a hard knockdown brave counter, right? It's always a non-counter hit. So that's pretty fucking good, man. Sandy just has, if he's in an element, he has a very belligerent neutral skip, right? Just straight up. I mean, from this range, he's hitting you in what? 19 frames, and he's plus on block. This is very nice for him. Very hard to really do very much about this. Of course, Sandy does have to give up his element, but in some cases, if he was in like an element that's only good in long range, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe he wants to get rid of that element. On hits, you can also do the same thing, right? You can also just go beep, bop, and go into an element instead. And again, if on hits you have the element and you do it, then it does this little launch, which wall bounces even mid-screen, and you can follow up with U Fireball for this. Or in the corner, you can also just follow up in general. These all do more damage than just the Lariats, but Fire does the most, right? The Fire version, I think, does 2,500? Yeah. And the other ones, I think, do 2,300? Yeah. Yeah, the U version is his metered combo extender, right? It's what leads to the Sandalphon combo trademark, right? Where he does this bullshit right here. Pretty damn good mid-screen. You know, solid damage, solid carry right there. If he gets the auto combo, he just about does 5k and takes you corner to corner, which is quite nice. Bonk, bonk, bonk. I think people have found the way to improve on this too, but I know if you have elements, one thing you can do is that you can go, you know, auto combo into U, right? 2U, bonk, bonk. And then you do this, that, this, and you can follow up with U Fireball, which I failed to do right there because I have my button too early, but you get the idea. That is Sandy. He is just kind of the definition of, like, solid across the board, right? Everything this guy does is pretty good. There's, you know, outside of, like, you got a couple of, like, funny things with his elements, certainly. Unblockable setups and things like that. But, like, he's just good at everything, right? He's got good mid-screen, you know, even, like, meterless if he gets something like this, right? His metered mid-screen is pretty good, right, with shit like this. Bonk, 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 right? His carry is pretty good. He's got a meterless DP. His buttons are all pretty good. He's got pretty interesting ways to, like, deal with zoning and neutral skips and zone himself. He's got a Fireball and a good one at that. He's got a U Fireball and a good one at that. His damage is relatively, again, like, fine. Like, it's not like that high, but, you know, he's, like, almost TODing Gran in a lot of cases. Or it's, like, not in a lot of cases. In, like, his best scenarios, right? His 6XL is pretty good, his 6XM is pretty good, his 6H is pretty good, his jump normals are good. And then he has, like, a couple of things of, like, excellence sprinkled in there, right? Like, his JU being pretty fucked up, right? And, like, the optimal situations for a lot of his elements being quite good as well. He's kind of a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-one kind of character, which is quite strong, right? Sandy, I would consider overall, my current opinion on Sandalphon is that he's pretty damn good, right? He's pretty damn good. He's not quite, like, a character that is strong enough that he feels like he's in the upper echelons to me, but again, if you step, like, right outside of there, then I think he very much starts to earn his place. I describe him as versatile? Yeah, something like that. Something like that. What the fuck do combos look like on this fella again? Yeah, I think generally, right, like, if you don't have any element or anything like that, like, you probably don't want to be spending the, like, this cooldown, right? It does give you pretty decent carry, right? With the first in line right there. So it's something. Like, a lot of the times you probably just end up doing, like, Lariat. You can get medium Lariat off auto combo there too, so you don't have to spend the cooldown, right? Just Lariat into whatever element you're interested in at the time. Or otherwise, just run at them and get your Oki. Off, like, a far M. Again, probably a lot of the same stuff. Though, actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Where does a true combo out of... Please stop spot dodging and block after initial hits instead, big guy. Block after initial hits. There you go. So, like, that doesn't work. But... Oh, none of them do. Okay, so you can't go into M off any of them, huh? So true, bestie. Do it on CAG far H. Now draw her getting an education. So probably a lot of the times you're going to end up having to do this. Or, I mean, you can do the light one, too. But let's be a little bit less... Yeah, probably the light one is better. Because, again, you'd like to conserve that combo. To potentially have that cooldown to have the neutral skip. Or for combos or what have you, right? Is there anything interesting we can do on counter hits? Like, can we... Actually, that's a good point. Can I just do... Even on non-counter hits, can I just do some shit like this? No, okay. So, but probably on, looks like it was close enough on like heavy, that probably works, right? Yeah. So on heavy you can do that. And on counter hit far M, you can do that too. On counter hit far H, can you do any like real fuck shit? Doesn't seem so. I guess this could be an extender too, but you know, it's not that useful, really. But yeah, you can go bonk. Yeah, that doesn't combo naturally unless they're airborne. Yeah, I mean, the convergence from far pokes seem like it's mostly going to be going into your Sandalphon combo, right? Probably, if you've got the meter. That's interesting. I don't know if I want to do that, but that's interesting. Yeah, doesn't seem like he has anything like too insane, even on a counter hit confirm or something. Besides like saving some cooldowns, right? In base at least. I mean, even on a counter hit in fire, I'm not sure. I don't think it'll matter that much, right? We could always do something like that, which is nice in the elements. Again, that makes any given conversion potentially do a lot more damage. But I don't think there's anything special is gonna occur at these like normal ranges. I don't think the combo changes mid-screen for any of the elements, by the way, except for fire. And then with meter, obviously, it is the Sandalphon combo. I don't know. I've heard tell that there have been breakthroughs made in the Sandalphon combo, but I'm not sure what those breakthroughs might have been. Dude, and then in the corner, what are we? I mean, again, this, right? Like usually you want to launch with that. Though I think this is too much combo limit, right? Like it's kind of a trap. Like, in actuality, you end up wanting to do the other one a lot more. Like, here you can grounded extend with this. Like, you end up wanting to do some shit like that often instead. Why not Matera? Because Matera is maybe the best character in the game? What do you mean, why not Matera? It's like, let's get some Beatrix buffs while we're at it, too. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Don't patch notes drop soon? Probably. Like something like this, that. Nobody likes B? I have horrible news for you about Matera. Beatrix is probably hated half as much as Matera, something like that, generally. It's a zoner, though. It's not, I mean, that's even if she was worse. This is how it is. Meg is the cooler B now? Yeah. I think this Voss guy could use some buffs. I don't know. Maybe. Consuming Uma content has led me to consuming real horse content. Some of the horse names are hilarious, particularly kids look untouchable. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that's about. Matera is hot, she gets a pass. Beatrix is pretty hot. But yeah, like, is it worthwhile to, like, do we launch? Boom, boom, boom. I do like to find something that ends in a safe jump usually, which that shit certainly does not. Is this? Please don't spot dodge. What's the frame advantage on shit like this looking like? Like say I did like bonk 1, 2, 3 this that 1, 2, 3 that or something. What's that? Oh, super jump safe jump right there. Okay. What about if we went the other way? What about if we did something like this, that, this? Super jump, safe jump as well. Still a little... well, actually, maybe fine normally, actually. But yeah, he's pretty hard as well, that's what I'm saying. Been in a coma since August 24th, 2023. This near champion seems pretty busted. I think she needs nerfs. That's valid, actually. No, that's fucking real, man. That's why I fuck with you, man. You keep it fucking real, man. Which of these two combos does more damage? 55-50 into safe jump is pretty solid, for sure. Not gonna see me fucking with that whatsoever. Versus... bonk, bonk, bonk. More damage going the other way. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I'd rather do this. 1, 2, 3. Into super jump, safe jump. Right? Yeah.
What's this? Huh?
Champion? Yeah, this near champion's looking kind of fucked up, I think. I mean, arguably we could also do something like that, actually, I guess, right? We could go like 1, 2, 3, bonk, bonk. Oh, but that might not connect all the time. Let's say that actually might be more damage. Maybe we have to delay the close L a little bit. Oh, okay, never mind. I fucking hate it, actually. I've decided it's the fucking worst. Okay, no, I hate that. 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 Honestly, the combo you're talking about is the only they do all the time. Auto combo 214U, 2U, 22HU, 236U, 66H, 5U. What the fuck? How do you do that? Wait, what do you mean by that? In the corner? Oh. No, I think I was talking about the general, like Sandy, like the Sandy mid-screen combo, but maybe I'm wrong. They get around to the top, watch the movie version instead of the 4-episode OVA version. Gotcha. 6H, 5H, 5U. My bad. This is a corner combo?
Show respect.
There you are. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so I like that as a safe jump route, right? It probably doesn't change too much. Yeah, it doesn't change too much in fire, except we would just do 1, 2. Like we go 1, 2, 3. This close H. This 1, 2. That, and it is still a super jump, safe jump, so that's perfectly fine. A little bit better damage, if nothing else. I fuck with that. We love meterless safe jump routes. Yeah, okay. And then I forget what fucking cash out looks like on this fuck. I feel like it's not actually this, right? Like that's a scam. You can get raw SSBA this way, but you can get like more. You get more damage saving the combo limit and not doing that kind of shit. I thought. Yeah. Like doing some shit like this instead. Is there not a way? I could have sworn there was a way to like end in raw super there and still like, you know, have your cake, eat it, all that good shit. There's no way to raw link into that, huh? Maybe? Kids look untouchable. What a name for a horseman. Playing a dangerous game, intermittently refreshing the news page while drinking water. There's a 2% chance this laptop dies tonight, you know? I believe in you to keep it safe. Is it off of that you can link raw? Hold on. It might be. Is it this where you can go 214H? Oh yeah, okay, wait. So maybe it is that actually. But I forget now. Like maybe it's you do something like this? Into 214H into raw super? Maybe? That's like 10-6. That's not the worst, right? With SSBA, that's like pretty respectable. Close, it's like, yeah. Close H. You have to do H auto combo, unfortunately. Into, no. This is in fire specifically, right? The boom, this, that, 214H, SSBA. Yeah. 10-6. That's pretty good, right? Considering his average damage in the corner is already not bad, considering he's getting like meterless safe jumps with like almost 6K. 10-6 is not, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. Like everything else on this guy generally, except for his like, you know, the few things he does kind of stand out on. How'd that look here? Would it be worthwhile to like fully extend the auto combo this whole way? I guess the question then becomes, what do we... Raging Strike into 2U? Probably? Like, is it bonk, 1, 2, 3, this, 1, 2, 3, this, Raging Strike, that. Oh, it's probably more damage. Usually, if you can fit in a close H or raw SSBA, it'll be more damage to raw SSBA. Or, no, sorry, it'll be more damage to not raw SSBA, and instead fit in the close H. Alright, boop, bop. Yeah, 10, 3, 4, 6. That's also not bad. That's a little lower, certainly. I'm not sure if this is the best he can do, I will say. But that's completely valid for my dumbass. As a cash out combo. Don't think it should change much if they're crouching. Yeah, he's still only +8, so... Nothing doing there, really. Yeah. And I mean, water is just like its ass, right? Like, you hate it. You can't get anything off of it at all. Wind is relatively similar, I think, where you can just, yeah, you go like, it's kind of similar to fire. Where you go like, bonk, bonk, this. Right, that's actually, come to think of it, actually, could I do this, that? Oh, wait, maybe wind, maybe you can do some fuck shit on wind, actually, since you don't have to scale your combo with all these auto combos. Is that more? No, it's not. Okay, okay, okay. Still better to just do the whole thing. Alright, sounds good, man. Not this route. This is not the route. Okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Kids look untouchable. No, I get it, man. I get it. That's good enough for me. Oh. Yeah, I guess we get to choose on this route that I was doing earlier, right? We get to choose between do we want our safe jump or do we want elements? Which is a little stinky, but we're still plus 28 if we get the elements. Probably to get elements and safe jump, we need to spend a U skill, I imagine. Like we'd probably have to do some fuck shit. Like this or something, right? No, no, we don't. That's actually less plus. Who would have thought? Herm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to get both safe jump and elements. I don't think so. I mean, you have to be plus, like, 90? I don't think he's got that in him, personally. I don't think he's got that in him. Guy like me does not believe in the font. But maybe if we go, like, real high up, but I don't think so. I think Earth is best for corner combos? Yeah. I think theoretically Earth does the most, but it's got a bunch of one-frame link bullshit that I am not interested in. I think that's asking for too much. Alright, kill yourself. No, I'm kidding. No, actually, I'm not. Kill yourself. There you go. I'm the world's greatest. What is that shit again, man? I actually forget, like, the Giga Earth combo, but you can probably do a relatively similar thing as what you did before, right? And just do this instead. And then bonk, bonk, bonk. Kids look untouchable. Yeah, okay. With Earth, you can do the backshot combo. Let's set up for the angelic backshots, actually. I forget now. It's like you get it to hit, you get them to hit behind you. If you were to rank every character based on how good they were in their prime, who'd be the best? Do you mean like of their lore-wise of their life? Because I'm not the guy for that, unfortunately. As much as I maybe wish I was.
I need your strength.
Sandy's not the one giving backshots. Well, he's kind of like he's receiving the backshots, but he's also in control. In game, like which character was the strongest in their strongest incarnation? Because it's near and it's not even close, right? If that's what you're talking about. It's near, and it's like, to this day, there is still not a tier list. Like, there's still not like an all-time Granblue character tier list, right? To this day, if we is it not just the launch 5 with Nier on top? No. Again, I've made this point before, right? I made this point before, but if we were to actually make, I genuinely think it probably is this, right? Like if we just kill this, right? If we are to make a tier list, assuming that it's not pre-Versuja patch Nier, but like literally release Nier, the tier list for the game essentially looks like this. We just didn't figure out all the shit she could do before she got nerfed, right? But this is the tier list in Granblue. There is no other character in the game that matters besides release Nier. She got nerfed before they figured out all the ridiculous stuff. If she was in her, like, I'm not even talking about the Versuja patch nerf. I'm talking about the nerf where they removed her ability to combo off her DP and nerfed her 6XL. And a bunch of other shit that wasn't even the Versuja patch. This is the tier list for Granblue of all-time character strength. Like 1.0 Nier is so strong that the other characters don't matter. Even the launch 5, like even your Belial, and your... Where is he? Lancelot is up there for sure. And Seox and Siegfried, which I can't find literally to save my life right now, right? These are kind of the golden 4 as well, with Siegfried at the top. Even these guys are not characters in comparison to 1.0 Nier, right? The difference between, like, whatever the worst character in the game was on release, probably Avatar Belial, and, like, Siegfried is probably smaller than the difference between Siegfried and Nier, right? Siegfried being the best character, the second best character in the game. This character would literally invalidate, like, again, within 3 months of the game's release, she lost her ability to combo off her DP. And at that time, we all like dropped her 2 tiers in our heads. We were like, the thing that was crazy about Nier was her ability to combo off her DP and her like ridiculous 6XL. They nerfed both those things about her. She's still strong, but she's a lot more reasonable now. Afterwards, the Niers discovered all the ridiculous shit she could do with her U skill, and the fact that she had looping 50/50s that were unfuzzyable, and unstoppable Raging Strike setups, and, right? Guaranteed Raging Strike setups. Once they rediscovered all of that, we were like, oh, Nier is once again in her own tier. There were 2 separate things about Nier that made people think she was in her own tier of power. Now imagine if instead of, people taking a long time to figure out how she worked and her getting her DP removed, her DP ability to combo off her DP removed, imagine if both of those separate things that existed at this, that made her top 1 in a vacuum, if they were both there on the same character at the same time. If the release strength along with the actual community development was there at the same time, there is no tier list in Granblue. It is Nier and everyone else. Ladiva and Belial are the same character. Yuel and Siegfried are the same character. In the face of 1.0 Nier, there is no other character. So, it's kind of hard to even talk about which characters were strongest throughout the history of the game when Nier existed in the release state that she did. It's one of the stupidest release characters I've ever seen in hindsight. They're just lucky, right? They're just lucky that people didn't figure it out in time before they took her ability to a Nier that can combo off of her DP, has unfuzzyable looping 50/50s. All of this, by the way, when you get hit by Nier, she does like a good 8,000 to 9,000 damage on average, right? Literally unstoppable Raging Strike setups where you can't Brave counter them, you can't spot dodge them, and you can't, you just die. Like, obviously if you don't do either of those, you get hit, right? Yeah, doesn't need the corner. Never ran out of stocks. Had the best 6XL in the game. Had the best normals in the game. Had the best projectile in the game in Death in 214H. Had the best neutral in the game. Had the best defense in the game. Had the best pressure in the game. Had the highest damage in the game outside of Siegfried. Right? She was literally the best at everything. By a long shot. After they took her ability to combo off her DP away. She was the best at everything in the game. It's ridiculous, right? It's like now put that back on her, and we have truly there's nothing to talk about, right? There's nothing to talk about. Makes modern Nier look even more pathetic. Well, that's the reason modern Nier is as pathetic as she is, right? Because they were like, my fucking bad, big guy, right? They were like, my bad. We're never letting her be a character again. That's on us. Old Nier should be a boss character in story mode? For real, man. Old Nier with the AI of October 2023 Elsa, or sorry, October 2024 Elsa or something like that. Like a chess bot that plays like Elsa back then. I don't know if the AI could even make Old Nier work. Yeah, you have to have one of those things where they copy them in the chess bots, but yeah. It's still Nier and everyone else, but just in a different way now, yeah. Which character? Someone said, which character do you think was weakest? Yeah, the weakest state any character's ever been in? There's really only 3 arguments to me, personally. As far as the weakest characters ever, the weakest state a character has ever been in, I think there are exactly 3 characters where you can argue them as even being remotely in contention for this, and unfortunately, 2 of them are DLC. Nope. You're one of them. You are one of them. It is essentially... Hold up. Where did she go? These 3. Release Vayne, Release Vikala, and Release Avatar are horrendously, hilariously bad characters. Release Anila is also pretty horrible, but these characters are different, man. Release Vayne, it's hard to talk about, right? Release Vayne, shield was even worse than it used to be. He didn't have mid-screen. His 5U was a joke. His damage was relatively low, actually, a lot of the times, outside of his anti-airs. Vikala is just current Vikala, but her good items are worse, and she can't see what item she's getting, which is, in hindsight, ridiculous. Vikala had to hit 5U and react. This is a 1.0 tier list, or the worst period in every character's existence. Worst period in every character's existence, right? Release Lucy was pretty weak of the other three on his level. Release Lucy's 100 times better. Are you Midnight? You have like a weird way of looking at Lucilius. Release Lucy was a little bit weak, right? Release Lucy was below average. I mean, the others in B tier? Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter. My point is, these three are, like, basically, these three are the only ones in contention, right? Vikala had to hit 5U and react to what item she got, right? Vikala had to hit 5U and react to what item she got. And Heart and Cheese didn't have a hitbox out of the cannon. So if you fucked up the reaction and fired them out of the cannon, you got punished for it. And again, Spike Ball hit 3 times instead of 5. Star was worse. Bomb did less damage. Vikala really might be it. But Vayne is probably the best of these three, I will say. I think it is. It probably might be in this order. Release Vayne is really weak, but Release Vikala is genuinely a joke character. This is probably the worst character in Grand Blue history, if I'm being completely real with you. It's hard to explain what Release Avatar Belial looked like, because he's so different post Versuja patch that, like, it's not the same character, right? Basically, the big thing with Release Avatar is that, you know how, like, the packed follow-ups do that and let you extend combos? He didn't have that.
Watch over me.
Right? So, like, a lot of the times, you know, like Release Abel, like, his mid-screen was like this. Like, that was his mid-screen. He spent 1,600 health to get less damage on auto combo than most characters got completely meterless and resourceless, right? Like, 4,300 damage on auto combo is kind of normal damage. And he spent 1,600 health for it and had 14,000 health. Yeah, this is the worst character in the game. Yeah, it's definitely this one, right? He just had 2,000 less health than the rest of the game and spent his health to do what the rest of the game could do. Now, granted, a lot more characters were a lot more finicky back then, right? So certainly there were a lot of characters who, like, didn't get good conversions off their auto combos and things like this. But Abel spent health to become average. I almost want to say Release Anila was the worst character. Release Anila was quite bad as well, right? Because Release Anila got, he didn't have 666H, right? Release Anila is probably, like, he's down here, but he's probably better than Release Vikala, right? Release Anila is down here, because Release Anila, you can think about her, basically, as Release Anila didn't have 666H as, you know, this sort of conversion tool on counter hits, and she didn't have 214U as a combo tool either. Her 214U was kind of like what Grimnir's is right now, without the wall bounce near the corner, right? So Release Anila actually did no damage ever. That's her, like, her big problem is she never did damage. She was still, like, okay in the corner. She could, like, all of, like, this bullshit that she can do currently, right? She could do in the corner on release as well, right? Stuff like this. But, like, in the mid-screen, she never did any damage. And her far L, like, will basically never convert into H-Sheep unless you were in the opponent's asshole. So, this character's pretty bad, certainly, right? Her mid-screen was just bottom 0 by a mile. But she's probably still better than these three, but she's worth being in the conversation, for sure. Giving her 666H and 2, like, I mentioned a lot of the times that Anila as a character right now is really mostly held up by 666H and 214U, and neither of those moves were on the character's release kit. So, yeah. But it probably is just Abel, right? Again, Abel, he spent health to become average, and he has 2,000 less health, and he spent his HP to do what other characters could just do normally. This is a joke character. This is an unironic joke character. In hindsight, people were saying that Percy was also really garbage on release, and he was. But, like, there was kind of a discussion on release, like, is Abel worse? Is Percy worse? Like, who was the worst character in the game on release? Percy was not even in the same ballpark as like Abel was just horrendous, I think. Yeah, Abel was a joke character on release. Vikala was way too weak. Vayne was way too weak. Anila was way too weak. A lot of characters were very bad on release, like broken fundamentally in ways. There's a huge gulf on release, right? There were a lot of characters that were just horrible and a lot of characters that were godlike. The power gap is not even, like, who's the worst character right now? Vikala, maybe? Who's the best character right now? Beatrix, you want to say Percy, you want to say Matera, Catalina, you want to say whoever, right? The power gap between Vikala and, like, Beatrix is, even ignoring Nier, is, like, 1/10 of the power gap between, like, Avatar. Dude, it is hilarious, by the way, to think about the fact that Avatar Belial existed in the same game as Release Siegfried. I'm not even talking about Nier. I'm not even talking about Nier, right? But, like, there really was a point where these two characters were in the same game, which is just hilarious, right? These two characters were in the same video game. And you were supposed to, like, if you wanted to play Avatar Belial, you were supposed to, like, pick Avatar Belial and then occasionally queue up into, like, Siegfried. And that was supposed to be, like, a video game that you played. Like, they expected you to play that match. Right?
I'll wreck you.
To speak nothing of the fact that, you know, Nier is just a mistake, obviously, right? But to speak nothing of the fact that these two characters were in the same video game. This is hilarious. This is like a Strive character and a Footsie's character. You know what I mean? Like, Release Nier is unironically a Guilty Gear character, and Abel is, I don't even know. He's like literally the guys from Footsie's if their moves didn't one-shot, right? This is ridiculous. This is genuinely hilarious. Think about the fact that these two characters occupied the same game at some point. Also, how's post Versuja pre-Galleon Nier? She is better than all of these characters still, right? Like, pre-Galleon buff Nier is better than all of these characters by quite a while, right? Like she's like here in comparison to them. The worst character in the game right now is 100 times better than the worst character in the game on release. And the best character in the game right now is like a mid-tier on release. I swear to fucking God, right? The game is so different. So like the Versuja patch again remains the greatest patch in any game's history, for my money, because it took Granblue and made it a real fighting game, where it was fun with like the novelty on release. But if I'm being completely real, this was not a fighting game, man. I don't know what the fuck this was, but it wasn't a fighting game. It was maybe a party game. It was maybe a Kusoge. I don't know. But whatever the fuck it was not real. The Versuja patch took this game and made it real, right? It's wild. This wild thing that Suja here was comfortably better than several characters at one point in time. Not in the same time period, right? Well, I guess she kind of was, actually. Yeah. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. She was, it's like this. Probably. Right? Yeah, it's like this. Because now that I think about it, I probably would have put Release Vayne probably is in the same tier as these three. Release Neil is probably in the same tier as these three. But this guy's a joke. Right? This guy's a joke. This guy's just complete another joke character.
You scared?
Right? It's complete another joke character. Like, yeah, literally Deathless Nier, right, gets 3280 off of her fucking auto combo, and she doesn't pay health for it. There's a genuine argument that, like, Deathless Nier's damage is, like, comparable to fucking Release Abel's in the mid-screen. Anyway, man, anyway. No patch notes yet, huh? No patch notes?